Hi, welcome to Radio Sensation. I'm your host, Dan. And in this episode, I'm going to be taking a look at this preview for a new independent comic called Turbo Pit Fighter. Okay, so this video is going to be a little different than usual. First off, this is a teaser that people are putting out to promote a comic book they're working on. It's 8 pages long, 6 pages of story, a front and back cover. What happened was, the reason I'm doing this is because two fellows reached out to me, Kurt Bruegel and Jake Jacobs, two guys who they're both art teachers from what I gather, and they are doing, in their after hours, they're doing a comic that they are working on, and not just working on it, but they're documenting pretty much every step of the way. The comic is Turbo Pit Fighter, and if you go to Kurt and Jake's website, Turbo Pit Fighter, on YouTube, you'll find videos where they are going over the making of this, the behind the scenes making of this comic, and they're going into minute detail, really, because you are seeing every little time they decide to make a change, and they're being very particular about it, especially it seems like Jake, he's the artist and writer. Kurt is they have him listed as co-writer and inker. And these guys are very talented. I took a look at some of the other things, some of the other artwork that's online, and it's a lot of fun. But boy, it seems like they're, doing this, I think they said they're imagining 4 floppy comics that are going to add up into one long story. How many each of those floppies is going to be, I don't know. It's not going to be just, this is not it. This is a teaser. They just wanted to see what it looked like to print this up and have something to tease. And they are actually selling this on Kurt's website. I know I promise oftentimes I'll put a link below, and then I kind of forget by the time this is everything's rendered and on YouTube. But I'll do some links for this, and I'll also give you some other info here. So they reached out to me. They said, "Hey, we saw your YouTube channel, and we think you might like our comic and might be able to review it. Give them a little push there because we're right up your alley." Now the thing is that you can take 10 comics that other people think are all pretty much the same comic. They all seem interchangeable, but I might only like 1 or 2 of them. There has to be a little certain something that's not always easy to explain, to put a comic, in the sweet spot for me. So I know from my many years of working on fanzines that sometimes people send me things thinking it's right in my wheelhouse, that it's really not. But in this case, the fellows aren't wrong. I really like what they've done with this. I think it looks really cool. They are big fans of, after the apocalypse, after the fall, Mad Max kind of, post-apocalyptic comics. And I see that they've done a lot of YouTube videos on Commandy. And so, and I watched some of their videos. You should check out their Turbo Pit Fighter YouTube channel. Like I said, they They're going into minute detail in some of these things. What I would say is when you go to the YouTube channel, it's going to look like they have 500 videos. It's really just that, a way to promote your YouTube videos is to take little snippets of it and put them out there. And then supposedly YouTube will promote those little things in different places, and you can grow your audience that way. And they really seem to have taken this to heart. So when I first looked at the website, I was like, I saw all these things that looked really cool, and they were only like a minute or two each. And then I realized, oh, I see what's going on. And so I would recommend going to the very bottom to where they have playlists. And then in the playlist, they have the full-length videos are all gathered together under things like Turbo Pit Fighter, which is this behind-the-scenes look at them working on this. Or the other thing they have is the Comics That Inspire Us, which is them talking about the books that led them to want to do these comics. And there's also a playlist for them. They go through the first 20 issues of Kamandi, issue by issue. And quite frankly, Kamandi was one of my favorite comics. I liked the Planet of the Apes movies well enough, but when Kamandi came out, then I didn't. The Planet of the Apes was kind of like, if you read the Planet of the Apes comics, they're really, just kind of like thinly veiled parables about, racism and, equality and stuff like that. And they don't really necessarily have to be about apes. And humans. It's, so I kind of lost interest in. But Kamandi had all those mutants, and they had alligator people and bat creatures and all kinds of wild mutant things. So when I saw them doing Kamandi, I was like, whoa. So then they asked if they could send me this, and they sent it to me. And I had watched a couple of the making ofs, so I knew what to expect. So far, I don't think there's any mutants in their world. Let me just take it. I don't want to go through this too much because it's so short, and if I do, it won't give you any reason to go watch their videos, and I think you should. This is our Turbo Pit Fighter, tough looking young woman, and she's got hanging on her arm a damsel in distress who's actually a prize for pit fighters who win fights. Just in these 6 pages, it's during this fight, this brutal fight where she's beaten the hell out of this giant, well-armored opponent, whereas she's dressed, except for the boots, it looks like she's ready to go on a bike ride or something. Those definitely look like biker shorts to me. She's having a flashback of her parents being murdered. There's her dad, and this is a great splash page. Really good. I love this. There's some fighting going back and forth, and then there's her mother being killed. This downward shot is a kind of an odd panel. It makes her look kind of short and squat. If that was the only picture you had seen of her, you would have a strange idea. The art is great. It's really cool. There's some weird foreshortening stuff going on here, but it really works. Very expressive on some of the faces here. Great stuff. Here's this person who's the prize for some of the pit fighters, and I was thinking you don't see any. This guy's kind of got his face seems kind of mutated by maybe radiation burns or something, but he doesn't really look like a monster person like I'm thinking of. And I don't know if she's supposed to have on big woolly socks because of there's or whether she's supposed to have legs like a centaur or something. A satyr or something like that. And you can see in some of the things that she's got some weird stuff going on underneath her eyes. But it's a great setup. There's some funny stuff like this is like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. The announcer's voice is here, and he sounds very, very much like a modern announcer. This is all you see of him is his ugly teeth and his bow tie, which is kind of funny that there's no change in how the announcer's doing. So like I said, I think that's a bit of humor there. So it's a nice setup. I think they're doing a great job. This is definitely the kind of thing I would pick up. And I would definitely support this as they go forward. I think it's great. There's the back cover. It looks like it could be a flyer. When I go to like the SPX and stuff, there'll be a table full of flyers for stuff, and they'll have like the scanning code and information about stuff. This looks perfect for that. And I think it looks great. The guys really, this is a great example of this kind of thing. Really well drawn. Like I said, their YouTube channel. I mean, these are hour-long videos talking about the minutia of the changes they're going to make and why they're making changes and things like that. I don't have a lot of time to watch too many of those, but it is interesting, and definitely if you are working on your own comic, that will give you a lot to think about. Because especially, it's Jake who's coming up with what he wants Kurt to change, or what he's talking about him with, and he's got a lot of insight into why he wants things to look a particular way. Now I will say that when I watch their videos, I really like their videos about the comics that inspired them and stuff, and the artists and things. They are pretty particular, especially again, Jake is very particular about picking out things that he's not fond of in comics. I disagree with him sometimes. Some of the things he picks on, I think they're a choice. They're, some people can like them and they're not wrong or right, but he's got some opinions, and his own comics are really great. I think they're definitely worth checking out. Here, a good place to see some of their artwork is I've just started to get on Instagram, and this is their Instagram things, and you go, if you're on Instagram, go and check those out. I also saw Kurt's website is cool, and Kurt Inker Bruegel, I guess is like I said, I'll put a link in there. The guys have also said they are interested in having me on their YouTube channel to talk comics and YouTube channels and all that, and various things. So I'm thinking of going ahead and trying that. I'll let you know. We've got a tentative date, and I'll let you know on this channel, when that'll be for sure. So that's something to look forward to, I hope. I definitely think people who like the stuff on my channel will find this worth checking out. Okay, have a good day.